Knick of Time Show. Go check out that show. It's a great show. It's a great show. It's a great show.
York, New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from Knick of Time Show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time, and we are back to talk about a spanking. The Knicks lost to the Pistons again, 126-111. Cade came to MSG and had a field day. All right, really could not be stopped. OG Anunoby's first game back, tried to check him, but Cade gave us 42 points and 13 assists. The Knicks were abysmal from three. Seems like they had some fight in them, but just quite not enough. We're going to talk about it, all the good, the bad, and the ugly. Before we talk about it, I'm going to introduce you to my peoples. First and foremost, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building. Didn't want to come back to another loss to the Pistons, especially with Duran and Stewart out, but it is what it is. And I guess I can't wait to talk Knicks basketball. I guess
we back. And you already know it is the Latin assassin, the ESPN contributor, Bleacher Report contributor, my guy Lee Escobedo. What's good, Lee?
What's good, JLS? What's good, Ryan G? Well, if we're gonna lose, at least we can lose and commiserate together, right? In the post-game on the Knick of Time Show. Glad to be here with y'all. Glad to be here with the chat. K-Town and him, man. Best point guard in the East, best guard in the East. True MVP candidate. Way under 42 points, 13 assists, 8 rebounds, complete control of the game, on the mid-range, got 2 feet in the paint whenever he wanted. Yeah. Did a very good job passing into advantages, find his teammates. I don't know if anyone in the NBA elevates his teammates better than him, besides Joker. I think Joker might be the only person I would put above Cade. That's how high I am on him, but I don't have to tell you guys. We've argued on it so many times. But yeah, man, really pathetic, disappointing loss tonight by the Knicks. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and you know what, Lee? It's disappointing because they didn't have their centers in Duran, and they didn't have their centers in Stu, and we couldn't take advantage of that. Matter of fact, our centers, Cat and Mitch, were pretty much no-shows.
Facts.
You think, all right, they'll have Paul Reed and some other guy who we hardly see before. You think we will have the advantage of the boards. We lost the board battle today. But like, I feel like, let me know what you guys think. I feel like we lost this game mentally in the first half because I feel like the ass kicking that they gave us in the first 2 games was lingering in that first half, because what I saw in the first half was we competed for a good portion of the first half, except for the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. We got a lot of open shots, and I felt like we were tight, yo. I felt like we were just nervous to shoot the ball. We shot 6% from 3 for the first half of the game. A lot of those threes were wide open. OG Anunoby himself, you can say that's rust, right? You can say that's rust, but I'm going to exclude OG Anunoby in his rust. Jalen Brunson. Like, I felt like the first half, Jalen Brunson was missing a lot of shots that he usually makes. And I feel like missing those open shots got into our head. It's like we were used to getting smacked in the mouth defensively. We moved the ball like we were supposed to. We're actually getting the shots we were supposed to get, and then we're now converting it. And now what's happening is the second quarter, we start to rush shots because the shots that we were getting that were wide open weren't hitting, and now we're rushing shots, and they're in the fast break, and now all of a sudden they're scoring 30 points. And I felt like offensively we got into more of a little rhythm as the game went on, but I felt like we played a little bit scared and tentative in the first half. What are your thoughts on that, or any other thoughts you have?
Who's first up?
All right, I'll go. I think I don't know if it was scared or tentative per se, but I do think that them missing a lot of open shots early in the game affected them later on in the game, because with teams a lot of times when you're not hitting your shots, you tend to slip. You tend to slip on defense a little bit, and I feel like for most of that first half, they weren't hitting their shots. They were hanging in there the best they could defensively. But then towards the end of the second quarter, I think it started seeping into their head that, this is a team that beat up on us the first 2 games. Our shots ain't going in, and they were trying to hang out for dear life. And the Pistons pretty much smacked them in the mouth towards the end of that second quarter, and the Knicks couldn't recover after that. So I wouldn't say it's scared or tender per se, but I do think that the missed shots ultimately played a role in them collapsing towards the end of that second quarter when they were trying to play hard, hang on, and I mean it's tough as a player when you just taking open shots, and none of it is falling. It's kind of tough to maintain that defensive intensity when you see the offense ain't working for you. So I think ultimately it seeped into their head later on in the game, which kind of let them slip a bit, and the Pistons just took advantage of that. But besides that, like even with Brunson, the way he started the game as well, I felt like he was being sped up with a lot of his shots, and I felt like he was taking a lot of quick shots rather than playing his pace. In the second half, he kind of corrected that. He self-corrected and played more at his pace, and that's when he started to hit shots. But I felt like to start the game, he was playing way too fast, and I think a lot of the players, like it was kind of like the adrenaline was running so much that they wanted to like get ahead in this game so badly,
right?
That it kind of worked against them in a way.
I think that's why I said maybe tentative was the wrong word. Sped up. I think sped up may be the right word because like. They were so used to getting smacked in the mouth the first 2 games. When they got the open shot, I feel like they were just like rushing it. And instead of like settling into their actual usual shot mechanics and flow, and because they were rushing it, they just kind of blew a lot of good looks in the first half. And I'm not used to seeing Brunson play rushed like that. In the second half, he settled down. But like other things started to bubble up after he started settling down, but we'll get to that later. Lee, what are your thoughts on the game?
This might surprise you guys. I'm actually on being my picks for Timmy bag. This loss there's a reality. It was embarrassing. It was especially embarrassing, as Ryan said in our group chat, because they didn't have their two biggest dogs in Duren and Isaiah Stewart, and our weakest point of attack tonight was at the center position, that's even more embarrassing. I'll blame some of that on Mike Brown for not utilizing our bids when we had the opportunity to, in terms of featuring them and running plays for them more. But tonight, even though we lost the Pistons are a horrible matchup for us. I think if we somehow face them in the first, that's probably impossible. But the second round, they could potentially beat us. But if we avoid them, and I'm not calling for us to avoid them or hoping that we avoid them, just kind of speaking objectively on what I think would happen, we can still win the championship. And if we face them in the East Conference Finals, I think we would beat them because we have more continuity and experience in the postseason than they do. And they just rely so much on Cade Cunningham. They don't really have a secondary player who can put the ball on the floor and create for himself. Tonight, I thought it was not so much a mental thing, it was an effort thing. I just thought that the Knicks offense to me wasn't even the problem. Yes, they rush shots. That is a problem. But the process, the game plan, I don't think was an issue, with the exception of how Karl-Anthony Towns was used in 5-out scenarios. But mostly, to me, this was a defensive issue. Now, you don't have Deucent Bry, you don't have your point of attack, and everyone you don't put on Cade in terms of Bridges and Shamet, they're going to be too small. Right. Okay, you can live with some of that. The things that frustrated me, and I'm not going to be able to see the big picture because I'm not JB Bickerstaff, right? I'm not a coach. But the simple things that I saw, the closeouts, I thought were kind of back to where we were in early January. And I thought we had made some improvements as a team, including Brunson and Hart, who were the 2 guys that I kind of put the most blame on. As a team, I thought we were a step. So sure, maybe that's OG Anunoby, who still recovering from a toenail. But Joe Bridges, though, I wasn't totally impressed by his defensive effort. I thought the help and weak side defense was very strong. But the one-on-one game, my guy got cooked. And OG got cooked too. But OG, as you said, if you don't give him a pass on offense, I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass on defense too. Mikal Bridges, you did no pass. Mikal Bridges, to me, was the worst all-around player tonight. I thought when he was on Cade, he never sealed Cade off from his driving lanes. and say, okay, you don't play him real tight the whole time, but you don't give him a little bit of distance once you hit the mid-range. Well, guess what? He's one of the best mid-range players in the NBA. I think Brunson's better in the mid-range, but Cade's really good too. And that is the equivalent of like the short road scenarios that we've talked about on this show and pick and roll action. He's not just good at scoring those opportunities. Damn it, might be one of the best passers after about Luka and SGA in that scenario too. So he's going to find guys like Duncan Robinson or Javonte Green for easy threes. Also, there's no pick and roll with him and Duren. That's one of the best PNR combos in the NBA. What is the most likely scenario now? Not PNR with Paul Reed. It's going to be pick and pop and spray out threes once he gets to the mid-range. There wasn't that adjustment until the third quarter. And even in third quarter, I thought the closeouts were still a step slow. Tonight, the one caveat that I want to focus on that gives me a little bit of hope moving forward, with those two absences due to suspensions, I thought the Pistons played the best possible basketball they could, right? The Knicks, given who was available, no Deuce and an injured or a recovering OG, we played, in my opinion, at 60% capacity. So there is still a margin of error and a margin of to be able to rectify and get to the mean to where I think this could be a very competitive series. And I'm not totally out on the Pistons being absolutely better than us in every capacity. We need to play better. And I thought we were super solid in the first half for the most part, but that's second half. You know, the end of the third and beginning of the fourth was really embarrassing in terms of a lack of effort and just a lack of fundamentals of playing things up on defensive end that could have kept us in the game going to the end of a stretch.
What did you see defensively that wasn't fundamental in that second half?
Well, I mentioned them, the closeouts and not cutting Cade off early. We've been doing such a good job of picking him up, or not him, but picking up the point of attack beyond the 3-point line. We've been trying to hide Cat and Brunson from doing that. I thought tonight we didn't overplay him. We underplayed him, and we allowed him to get to his spots in that mid-range. And when he's hitting his 3-point line, when he's hitting his 3-point shot, and you're going to do what's been commonly talked about lately, dose coverage, which is focusing more on the hedge and where the action is, opposed to the guy you're supposed to be guarding the 3-point line. It's not real coverage. It's like a ghost, right? It's kind of a phantom pretend method in guarding the 3-point line. When he's doing pull-up threes, after the third one, adjust. And they did in the late second quarter, early third, and then they went right back to it. It wasn't just Hart. It was Brunson. It was OG. It was Bridges. It was the main guys that really were playing alongside Cat when we were trying to make a run. I'm like, bro, man, you're giving him both the opportunity to score where he's hot at, which in this case, top of the key, right, a little bit to the left of it, but you're also getting him hot to pass to his teammates because now the gravity is shifting toward him. That to me is that's what I like to think the fundamentals. Maybe I had the word I'm not defining it properly. Whatever you want to call it, you're giving him the best case scenario for him to not just score, but to initiate for guys that cannot initiate on their own. They depend on his gravity and his playmaking. Damn it, cut one of them off. Don't give the Pistons both.
Good point. All good points. That's something I kind of missed on how to guard the three. But here's another thing, and I do agree with you. I do feel like that first half, Lee, the Pistons aren't a 3-point shooting team like that. So it's like they get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and they like chant, and they have cardboard cutouts of Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and hung up on their mirror, and they give them a middle finger in the morning. They eat their breakfast and they come to the game. Like so, it's like they are charged up to play us. Yep. So if there is a bright spot, if I had to put money up, I don't expect that we're going to be shooting 6% from three, and they're going to be shooting like lights out from three the entire series. Now, if Cade Cunningham starts hitting freaking step back 3-point shots all willingly, then it is what it is. You tip your hat off. I don't expect him to be doing that all series. And I think that's where you said, Lee, the tables kind of could tip for us. Also, I want to get into another conversation because before this game even started, there was a lot of talk about who's going to sit. Right, Diarra's been playing so well, we don't want to see him playing on. We don't want to see him sit. Coach talked about playing Sochan, and in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, is he gonna play Sochan over Diarra and then play Clarkson? I'm happy Clarkson stayed on the bench. He played Diarra and he played Sochan, which is the best case scenario for me. That's what I actually wanted to see. So when we're talking about when we play the Pistons next in the series, listen, Sochan had a nice block on Cade Cunningham. There's only certain amount of lineups you can play him with, more like you said, Lee, more so with Karl Anthony Towns. I think something we should experiment with might be having Sochan play with the rest of the starters and putting him on Cade Cunningham. And I know he might not start the game like that, but I know Josh Hart has been great for this team, but playing matchup some games, seeing how Cade is cooking the hell out of OG, save OG some legs sometimes, and maybe try Sochan with the starters and have him on Cade for maybe not just for every series, but maybe for a series like this.
I'll say this. Although OG played bad tonight on both sides of the ball, I am willing to give OG a pass. Maybe it's rust due to the fact that he came back from injury. You know, maybe he doesn't have his legs yet under him and things of that nature. Maybe he still needs to, get back into a rhythm on both sides of the ball. So maybe, once he gets back into a rhythm, maybe he'll be able to play better defensively against Cade. But I will say this, though. I think tonight Sochan has shown that he may be able to slow down Cade in the few possessions that he did guard Cade. So I wouldn't do a drastic change yet where I would put Sochan in the starting lineup or anything like that.
No, not in the starting lineup, but play with
but like during the game, like if I see like Cade is getting started and there's nobody on the court that's able to stop him, then I would pull the wild card and be like, okay, you know what? I'm inserting Sochan into the game. You guard Cade and see what happens, because nobody was able to stop Cade tonight. Cade was on fire. It didn't matter whether it was a 3-point shot, which dude is only shooting 33% from three. And I don't know what it is about the Pistons when they go up against the Knicks, because this team is one of the worst shooting 3-point teams in the league. And then all of a sudden, dudes are just knocking in threes. And like even Ron Holland, he's shooting 23% from damn three, and he knocks in the three too. And I'm just like, yo, come on, like what's going on? But I do think that it's a good move at the deadline to bring in Sochan, because it seems like the Knicks do have a wild card in him, where if an opposing player is going off and nobody's on the court that could stop him, you can pull him off the bench and be like, okay, you know what? You have this defensive responsibility. Do what you can to slow down this player and go forward. But it's just one of those games where it's like it didn't matter what the Knicks did. Like Cade was just unstoppable tonight.
I'm about to try to walk a very tight rope here. I might fall on my ass. I'm going to say some good and some bad. First of all, I agree with that strategy. Sochan showed real instincts without really knowing everything that we're doing on defense or offense. I like the way that he kind of blended in with the team and was able to bring a fairly high IQ from my perspective as both a weak side defender and as a one-on-one defender too. Even when he gets beat, he has the athleticism and the size to be able to affect the shot, even if he doesn't block it. So I love that. And Cade is a big point guard. You need size because OG was getting cooked. Some of that, also agree, is OG Anunoby starting with that toe and did his speed back.
Right.
It is a little disappointing and slightly embarrassing that you have to depend on this guy you just got off the waiver wire
for real
to guard Cade Cunningham. I do think that should be said. Well, then, let me keep walking a tightrope. He's not the conventional waiver wire player. He is someone that 10 teams were looking how often this guy get waived and 10 teams are after him. And also, he's a lottery pick. What was he, the 9th or 7th pick?
Yeah, 9th.
Yeah. I mean, this is like Obi Toppin didn't cut. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of teams competing. He's going to bring something really good to the table on offense, conversely. So I like that strategy, but we need more like that. I don't know if Sochan's the only one who can slow down Cade. We're in for a hell of another series where it's judged by 3 points in totality at the very end. I think we need to come up with a defensive scheme. The problem is they're such a bad matchup for us. The type of team that gives the Detroit trouble are the Charlottes. Run and done, fast paced, highly athletic. Don't let their defense set and constantly have them on their heels and having to play backup defense. they're able to set against us because we bring the ball up very slowly. We don't push the tempo outside of Alvarado minutes or Colett minutes. Brunson, lots of Brunson. He's on ball, and we get slightly predictable. Even when he's an off-ball decoy, you know it's going back to him within 3-4 seconds. So it's kind of easy to hedge and stay on him, or at least not give too much attention to whatever action's happening because you know Brunson's going to be an initial initiator or the second option. So that's it. Their physicality and our mindset, it doesn't blend well. They know they can get inside of our heads and punk us a little, or at least touch us with physicality, and we're not going to touch back. And, man, we need Sochan for that too. Also a little bit embarrassing. So, there's some good and bad to pull from that. But overall, we got to stop Cade as a team. We can't just depend on one or two guys to win a series.
I agree with that. I don't think we actually did a lot of doubling either. So I don't know if that's
true.
So it's we kind of just been straight up. Even there was times when Brunson was just guarding him straight up. We wasn't even sending a double when Brunson was guarding him. And to Brunson's credit, one-on-one, he guarded him as good as he could. But in those situations, we might double a little bit more than we have. Maybe that's something we're saving for later. I don't know. But I agree with you. It has to be more than just Sochan, but having another tall wing guy to pair with OG Anunoby, because McCall is here for defense, but if we're being real, McCall is too light to guard him one-on-one. It's for me, the only reason to guard him one-on-one with McCall is if you're just planning to use OG to help. Because I feel like when OG had those blocks is when McCall was guarding him, K one-on-one, and then OG came in and helped and blocked him from the post up and stuff like that. So if that's your scheme, then that's your scheme. But if you're just gonna depend on McCall to guard him one-on-one all night, I don't think that's the move.
I'm gonna add something that might be unpopular I don't think to you guys, maybe to the chat. We do need more from the team. Cade, if Cade is not even the primary defender on Brunson, then he's really just allowed to hedge and recover on guys who are going to take 8 shots, 9 shots, bench players. I'm looking at 4 shots, 10 from Shamet. All right, that's a little high, but 8 of them were threes. So inside, when you're really having to play one-on-one, there's not much opportunity. Cade can reserve all of his energy for the offensive side of the ball when you're not really getting your main 2 weapons in Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns involved until the third quarter. We weren't running actions and involving. We actually saw what is that stacked PNR where there's multiple players lined up, allowing for Karl-Anthony Towns on ball to be able to operate in that, or drag screens to where Brunson was on ball, and then he gave it to Cat, and then Cat was able to get into actions closer to the rim while also using Brunson's gravity and connection with that. You can't wait till the third quarter. Now, here's a question: is that a Mike Brown issue? Is that a Jalen Brunson issue? Is that both of them issue? Is it also Towns just being deferring and having that natural passivity? I don't know. That's been a season-long quandary. What's more disappointing and what is, to me, more frustrating is Bridges. Bridges, man, you're getting cooked on defense, and you're also not giving us anything offensively after a lot of rest. 8 points, 4 and 9, 0 for 3, on 0 assists. Everything that you've been giving us at an above-average level, you didn't, man. Bro, what the hell, man? To me, he's been the most frustrating. He was the most frustrating tonight. Brunson only shot 20 shots. And he have 20 with the start of the fourth? He knew when to cut back and not go ISO. And he was trying to get other guys involved, and no one stepped up to help him. So, listen, man, that's some issues, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of that was OG too, but and this is why this game is weird to me, because OG went 0 for 6 for 3. He was the game could have been a lot closer of 1. There was a point when I was looking at the game, it was if OG hit 3 of his threes, we'd be up by 2 right now. And they were wide open threes. Wide open threes. So I'm when you put 22% from 3, that's a game right there. If we shoot our season's average, we're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. We didn't chuck threes. Ironically, the threes that we hit at the end were the forced threes. The threes, the desperation threes from Shamet in the fourth quarter, the ones we hit, those were the worst threes we had. But we hit those. The threes that they were hitting, Like Tobias Harris hit like a corner three that was rushed to me. That wasn't the cleanest look, but he hit those. Like if we're gonna miss wide open threes and they're hitting tightly contested threes, it's gonna be a long damn night, and that's what it was. Like when I looked at everything, I see Lee thinking like,
yeah. No, I think I mostly agree with you. I guess if I did have a criticism when it comes to the threes, I'm sorry. My criticism would be that I felt like a lot of our action when we were trying to push the pace a little bit, we were hunting for those corner threes instead of hunting for the best shot possible. And that happened more in the second half. And to me, that's a Brunson thing, but that's also systematic. That's Chris Gent and Mike Brown dictating how we're going to counter in the second half of a game when you're already close. You lost a lead and now you're down. To me, you should be hunting for the best shot possible, because once you start hunting for those 3-point shots, first of all, it's more pressure on the guy because he knows here's my time instead of the ball rotates to me. I'm wide open. My defender's way back there like we did in the first quarter, but we were hitting them. That schematic shift, I think, really took us out of any rhythm to have the momentum to not just take the lead, but keep the lead, because the shots you're getting were not process shots. They were forced shots and rush shots, and also very predictable shots in the corner.
Yeah, and I just want to add something to that as well, because I think at times the issue with the Knicks is they look for the corner three too much. Like I know it's part of the Knicks scheme to, look for the corner three, hit corner threes and things of that nature. But a lot of times in this game, I saw that guys could have went up for the layup once they penetrated to the paint, and instead of taking the easy two, they pass it out to the three. And then what happens? A lot of times Pistons have that on lock, and it's not an open 3-point shot. It's either guys have to have the ball, do a jab step, try to relocate on the 3-point line, then they're taking a movement three, or it's not really a set shot that's open a lot of times, and they miss a lot of 3-pointers. And I'm like, sometimes you have to recognize that, okay, we're getting into the paint. They're not stopping us getting into a paint. Let's just score in the paint, get easy baskets. We don't always have to throw it out to the 3-point line a lot of times, which is what they did in this game. And I think they passed up at least a good 4 or 5 layup attempts by passing it out to the 3-point line, and they didn't even cash in on those.
Very true. Very true. Appreciate you, Knicks Nation. Appreciate you. And Shout out to Lee, who's taught me a little bit about some X and O stuff. Because when I saw the stack PNR in the third quarter with Karl-Anthony Towns, I was like, oh, that's. I was like, stack PNR. But it's like the Karl-Anthony Towns situation. He went off like a lot of my frustrations between the Brunson Cat offensive synergy, I felt like went away or was qualmed in like a 5-minute span in the third quarter. We all been kind of complaining about how Brunson doesn't give Cat the ball enough. Mm-hmm. But specifically, I always felt like when Brunson gets the screen and Cat's at the top of the key, he never looks to pitch it back to Karl-Anthony Towns at the 3-point line. Today, I actually seen him get it to him like 2 or 3 plays in a row. Where he gets a screen, tosses the Cat at the top of the 3-point line, he makes a play happen. Whether it be a trailing 3-pointer, whether it be a head faking drive. And that's the thing that we didn't see in the first half. That's the thing that we haven't seen for a lot of the season. And I think that's one of those things that we have to do when we're using Cat. When you're playing the Detroit Pistons, I think the tendency was they're smaller, so let's post them. And when that had us, D was predictable as well. Because now we got Cat calling for the ball, and everybody just looking at Cat trying to get the ball, and it's a turnover and it's a stagnant. And so I feel like those type of things, like Lee's saying, we do a stat pick PNR, get Towns the ball at the top of the key, have him head fake or have him shoot a 3. I think we need to do more things with Cat on the move, and not just slow post ups. And even if we do a post up, because we did this later as the game went on. The post-ups weren't predictable. Like we had a screen, then Cat went to his position, and then after some movement, we gave Cat the ball. Now everybody's not just sitting there watching Cat wait for a post-up. He's getting the post-up after some action, and people aren't just zeroing in on Cat. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like we haven't been doing that for the entire game, and we did it for a stint in the third quarter. And I think we have to keep peppering that in. And I like the way we played offensively for the most part in the first half, meaning the process as far as sharing the ball, except for not giving the ball to Cat in the first half.
Can you tap me in?
Go ahead.
Before I start, shout out Bonner Lee, because this leads into my monologue. Listen, every penny that you guys help donate to the show, it goes toward paying our StreamYard costs, but also upgrading the visual and lighting of our teammates. Look at Ryan G looking crispy with the backlight. And also like hats, everything, man. It helped us out tremendously. So thank you, Bonner Lee, for the $1.99 super chat. Cat is disappointing. I agree with you, but I'm not putting the full blame on him. I think the blame also deserves to be put on Mike Brown and the coaching staff, as well as Jalen Brunson. There were some things that were happening that I thought they missed, especially in the first half. The first half, especially the third quarter, he went off. So obviously there were some adjustments that were made, both in his mind mentally, but also in the game plan. When you have the 5-out framework, it's not just so you can chuck a bunch of threes. There's additional layers to it that open things up for you on the offensive end. One of those is if you have someone, a center at the 5 who can shoot a 3, like the best shooting center of all time, they don't draw the opposing center, in this case Paul Reed, someone doesn't have great lateral quickness, someone who can guard some wings but would struggle with someone like Cat, who has a size advantage on him. That gravity, that advantage you have, was never utilized in the first half. That extended from 3-point opportunities, but also when Cat was a stringer, Brunson looked off him. Right. All these opportunities. Okay, yes, Cat and pick and roll can go to the rim. Tonight, second half, I thought he was pretty awesome driving to the rim. But you can also utilize him in pick and pop from the 3-point line or inside the 3-point line.
Right.
A pick and pop Cat. I mean, we're talking about one of the every above average player's great strength. That is probably Cat's greatest strength, and he's a top 25 player in the NBA. Wouldn't you think to utilize that more in your offensive game plan? It's not always about posting up. I know people want him to close the rim, start more to the rim, and I'm kind of talking to myself here, right? I say that a lot too. But the threat's also beyond a 3-point arc and right inside of a 3-point arc. If he can be a stationary pop, pitch and pop player, that means that opportunity, that gravity is going to allow him to be a stationary passer as well. Right? It's a shared responsibility. That's Mike Brown to use him in that capacity. That's Cat to not be indecisive as a stringer, to know, am I popping or am I rolling? Right. It's also the habits of guys like Brunson. Alvarado, I'm going to give him credit. He's new. Colt has done the best job out of everybody in doing this and utilizing him as a popper. Now, to me, all those things are things I think will eventually be resolved. And I think I have more faith in Brown to adjust than I do Tibbs, right? To me, though, 10, 14 points tonight from Karl-Anthony Towns, man, it's unacceptable for this roster and the way that it's constructed. He is brought here to be the second option. Why, as B said in the chat, are we having more self-created possessions from Jose Alvarado than we are utilizing Karl-Anthony Towns in the first half? And when we finally utilize him in the third half, that's when we saw the double drag and the stat pick and roll. But there's also that pinch post ISO that he scored on and got the foul for. I mean, he didn't score; he got the foul. Then there was that delay action that was in the right side of the court where he caught the ball at the 3-point line. He waited. Then he took his man off a dribble, I believe it was Tobias Harris, and drew a foul on that one too. He had a seal in the dunker spot where, holy hell. I mean, him and Mitch are probably the two most, and OG, give him credit, but Cat's size and intuitiveness and finishing on the rim, why would you not try to find those seals as much as you possibly can? Yes, we need more Cat. I'm not necessarily panicking to the fact that we didn't use him as much, as I do think that will be modified as the season goes on. But come on, man. The shot process was there. It could be advanced and enhanced, but I think we don't lose by 15 again if Karl-Anthony Towns was featured more in the first half.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you want to add anything, Ryan, before I say anything else, because I'm about to do some cat criticism, a little bit of cat criticism now.
I do think Lee hit the nail on the head. I'm trying to recall which game it was where I think it was the Sixers game before the break where the Knicks actually involved Cat in some motion. I believe. I can't recall the game completely before the All-Star break, but there was one game where the Knicks were using Cat in motion more, and they were feeding him the ball on the move, and he was actually being productive, in that role. And it's shocking to see that the Knicks don't do that more often. Like we said in the first half, they didn't do it. In the third quarter, they began to do it a bit more, and that's how Cat was able to get up to that hot start where I think he had like 10 points early in the third quarter.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's shocking to me that the Knicks don't stick with that, trying to get Cat more involved in motion, as opposed to him being stationary and things of that nature. But again, like, is it a coaching problem? Is it Brunson not getting the ball back to him off of pick and rolls? Like, what the issue is, with that. So hopefully they can get that fixed.
Yeah.
As they approach the playoffs. But yeah, I think especially in tonight's game, because with no Duran, no Stewart, and you have only Reed and the other guy Smith
worse
on the Pistons, like this should have been a game where you utilize Cat, you're supposed to like feed Cat, because Cat should have the advantage on every possession. He's the one guy where neither Reed or Smith can hold him. But the Knicks didn't take advantage of that, and yeah, this is the result.
Yeah.
Well said.
And one thing that it bothers me about Cat, I feel like Cat plays like he's been tall all of his life. And when I say Cat plays like he's been tall all of his life, I mean this. When you tall and you start off playing basketball tall, you don't know how to use your body offensively. You kind of just rely on your tall. And I felt like he was getting abused defensively by Paul Reed because he doesn't know how to properly use his body. You have to be able to shield your body from the defender. Like the one of the embarrassing blocks when he went to the hole and Paul Reed just stuffed him. Like, he has the inside track on Paul Reed. All you have to do is turn your body between Paul Reed and the basket, bump him back, and lay it up. You're 7 feet tall. I'm 5'7". I know this is a guard. This works on taller people. So if you're 7 feet tall, you have the height advantage. You should be able to do this one. Like, I feel frustrated watching Cat play basketball sometimes and using his length incorrectly. Like, you should not be being stuffed by Paul Reed at the basket multiple times if you're using your body correctly. Not from a help defender, from the primary defender. Like that, I don't know, man. It's wild. It's that's all.
Look to the chat. They're going in on Mike Brown. Man, the chat is angry tonight at Mike Brown. I think I would put Bridges number one. Not responsible, but I thought Bridges was the worst out of everyone, and this is my opinion tonight. Responsible, it's kind of team-wide, right? It's a team-wide effort on defense. I talked about the closeouts early on. Not sure why we were switching those ball screens with Cade. Why are we allowing Brunson to put on Cade off ball screens? That made no sense, and that was happening in the first half. That's almost like a game plan. Right? That's what Mike Brown wanted us to do. Or Brandon O'Connor, whoever the bum is on the bench. I'm not a big fan of the defensive assistant coach because we've been so up and down on that way. But man, to me, it's this blame. You can't put this blame on the coach or one player. There's a team-wide issue, and we just don't have anyone on this roster that can even slow down Cade. Again, they're a bad matchup for us. You have to admit that too. Like, that happens throughout the NBA. Every team has a bad matchup, and it's all the NBA. Ours is the Detroit Pistons, and hey, we still beat them last year in the playoffs, so not that bad of a matchup, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, we got some things to clean up, though. You're right about that. We got some things to clean up. Like, for all intents and purposes, the fact that if we can guard Cade a little bit better one-on-one, that would solve a lot of issues, because I feel like a lot of the issues is he's just been bullying us in the post. And like, it's one, and that's how he's able to be such high volume and get his high assists, because you can just kind of chill in the post and just wait for the double and just pass it. Which is why I'm not saying Sochan is the end all be all answer. Or maybe it's just OG Anunoby just getting more in rhythm defensively because he just got back with a bad toe. But like, just having him not be able to camp out in the post slowly, methodically, scheming against that would change a lot of things. whether it be doubling while he's in the post or effectively. I felt like a lot of times they were just players just waiting in the dunker spot once the double came. Whoever's on the wing, I feel like they were trying to step up and they just weren't paying attention to the defender behind them. So it's cleaning little things like that up. But for the most part, I felt it's crazy because even though he bullied us and stuff like that, for the most part, I do feel like we made it tough for large stretches of the game. I feel like they ran away with the game in like mini stretches, like 3-minute stretches in the second, and like when the bench came in the second half is when I feel like they ran away.
What makes Cates so great is that he has the body of a wing where he can get to the paint. And once he's in the dunker spot, damn it, he's almost as hard to stop as OG Anunoby. But it's the handle that allows him as a giant guard to get to the mid-range. And that's really where he does most of his surgery. He has a great push shot. He's got a great floater. He knows how to use glass when he's coming at an angle. He also cuts off ball actively too, so you have to stay on him even when he's not the primary ball handler. But most of all, his size and his height and his vision allows him to hit shooters with such clean, right in the shooting pocket. And that Duncan Robinson's feasting. That's why he wanted to go there, is because he feasts playing along with Cade Cunningham. It's why Malik Beasley looked as good as he did playing with him, and Tim Hardaway looked as good as he did. Like Javonte Green looked good tonight from 3-point line because of Cade Cunningham's vision. Like, damn, man, you have to pick your poison. Are you going to let him attack you as a wing or let you attack him as a guard? Tonight, we let him attack him both. And he got post-ups. Come on, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
His defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a very, very mini side note, this loss ruined the Mitchell Robinson highlight for me. Okay. When Mitch got the ball and kind of did like a post-up move. He dribbled 3 times this way, did a spin move, came up and got fouled and hit 2 free throws. I was like, oh wait, we got Mitch taking 5 dribbles in a row and like not the cleanest spin move, but a spin move in the post. I just like the fact that he was saying, I'm going to take advantage of my size matchup. They don't have centers. Let me just try something. I just like the balls to do it. And it's funny because I felt like it empowered him when he did it because he hit 2 clean free throws right after that. So it's like, to me, to unlock Mitch, we just have to let him dribble the ball a little. That's what it seems like. Get his confidence up. You know what I'm saying? Let him get Shamgar Mitch on, and maybe he get his free throws.
Special shout out to the chat. If you don't mind, I'll give some shout outs to who we got in the chat. They're active tonight. They're obviously angry, as they should be. This was an embarrassing loss. Listen, Dad, you did 2 for the price of 1. Double your money when you watch KOT show. Not only are you doing some great ball knowledge from my brothers here, the chat, we got some ball knowers in the chat as well, man. Shout out Bonner Lee, Arosa, 631, Starlight Roller, who's been on a tear tonight with some great takes. East Blue Drew, always in the chat, dominating. Ron Man Chosen also dropping some great ball knowledge. One of my favorites, Knit Nation, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Your family's well as well. Your family's great. Dionel M. Almonte, have not seen you in the chat before. Welcome. If you have been here before, I apologize. Please come back. Subscribe. Miguel Gutierrez, 6594, and David Haas Jr., Y67. Appreciate y'all. Also saw Timmy early on saying, Chip, I'm still with you, bro. Let's win this chip.
Yeah, it was winning chip. Yeah, salute to the chat, too. Definitely salute to the chat, man. I appreciate everybody who was rocking with the show on the loss, mind you, but you guys are showing out.
Facts.
And the comments, like you said, like Lee said, the comments are going right now. You guys want to mention anything else about this game? Jose Alvarado, what do you think about it?
Mid.
He played all right.
He played. I felt like the first half he was playing well. He had like 6 points in 7 minutes or something. The 3-point shot is very touch and go with him. It's like
Carson style.
Yeah, it's either dead eye or off all night. Like I kind of feel like you're gonna get a sense of how he's gonna shoot from 3 depending on his first shot. At least that's what I'm seeing so far. And I'm mad that Josh Hart blew his signature Grand Theft Auto steal when Josh Hart blew that layup.
He did.
It's like, oh, that could have got the Garden going again. It's like, we just couldn't get that one. We couldn't get that one play. Like we were like down 5, down 4, down 3. down 5, down 4, down 3. You couldn't get that one over the hump play.
Yeah.
It was frustrating.
Yeah. Then on top of that, when then towards the end of the game, when the Knicks were trying to make a late comeback, the Pistons with their second chance points, like you look at the stats and it shows that the Knicks and the Pistons both had 11 offensive rebounds. It was even there, but the time the Pistons got the offensive rebounds though were way more important because in that late in the fourth quarter, they were just killing the Knicks on the offensive glass. And when the Knicks were trying to make their comeback, it was just a devastating offensive rebound after devastating offensive rebound. Like it kind of reminded me of the Knicks, how the Knicks would do other teams. Like it was crazy.
That's why I was like, where's Mitch? Where's the offensive rebound king? Look, even your defensive rebounders. You know you get offensive rebounds. We need some defensive rebounds tonight, man. Like why our premier big men get out rebounded today? That was wild. All right. Salute to Knicks Nation, man.
My guy.
Always a big love for Knicks Nation. I got nothing else, man. I got everything. I gave everything I had to give. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add about this.
On to the next game. I want to forget this game. Let's get to Saturday against the Rockets, please, because this I don't even want to curse, but it's gonna piss me off if I keep talking about this game. Like
I'm with you, Ryan.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm with you too. Muhammad Diawara, 8 minutes. Okay, mid. Shamit.
Good defense.
Good defense.
Defense.
Slightly over mid. Just guarding Cade at his height is just not recommended.
It's unfair.
Yeah.
I thought he did on everybody else.
And he ended up guarding like Tobias Harris half the night too. It's like, what are we
Too
doing?
small. I mean,
Yeah. It's like,
but he fought. He fought though.
Yeah, he definitely did. He fought.
And that's what you love about him, man. That's what you love about him. Hi, yo. Yeah, man. I'm good. I'm good on that. All right. Any bro picks tonight?
Yeah, the Knicks. That's my bro pick.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet, the bro picks. All right, bro pick to the Knicks.
I got two.
Okay.
All right. First one, keep this short because I know you guys don't like it when I do this, but shout out Dallas, Texas, man. For some reason, Detroit Pistons, they love the Dallas players. A man Cade from Arlington, that's where I was born. But also Ron Holland, who's a dog. Watched him in high school win like 4 chips with Duncanville. But Denise Jenkins also is from Dallas too. So look, man, y'all know how I feel. We're slowly taking over, becoming a little mecca for guards and wings. Yeah, it's nice. I don't like that it's on Detroit. I wish it was on the Knicks. But you know, at least we got Kevin McCullough. He's from San Antonio. It's kind of far away from me, but he's still Texas. But Dallas is making a name for itself. Cade's a real MVP, and hopefully, maybe this year, this draft, the Wizards pick comes to us. Maybe there's somebody in the draft that we can get in the lottery that ends up being a DFW native. You never know, man. Shout out Dink Pate too.
Yeah, shout out Dink Pate. We need some more size. Get some Dink Pate over here. Yeah, man. All right, I guess. All right. Any New York players want to shout out?
Jose Alvarado.
Yeah,
Myers Terrace, Long Island.
Shout out Jose Alvarado, damn it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Jenkins did play for St. John's there. Ron Mann Chosen is right about that. He did play for St. John's. He played in New York for college basketball.
Yep.
There you go. I told you, man. I was telling you before freaking Jenkins was having a better freaking season than Clarkson. Oh my gosh. All right. I feel like I had a bro pick to talk about, but I'm gonna skip me right now. Do you have any bro picks, Ryan?
Nah, that's my only bro pick, the Knicks. I kept it short and sweet.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Should I drop my announcement?
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Drop your announcement.
All right. I've been saying I want to do it on the pod, and listen, I'm about to get a little mushy, so y'all excuse me. Flowers. I was all right. So like in December, I got a random email. At first, I thought it was a phishing email because I was like, "What the hell?" I had this email from Fansided. You guys know Fansided. I actually wrote for them when I was with Posting and Toasting. They're not Bleacher level report, but they're like an umbrella of major corporation. They do their thing on all sports. They just got an email from one of their editors in December saying that they had been watching the Knick Of Time show and they liked my personality. Thought I would be an interesting person to start a new endeavor they were doing. And this is kind of the pilot. So they're going to have a Knicks channel where there's going to be podcasts and shorts and all that kind of stuff. And they want me to lead the efforts. So a lot of collaboration. I'll be like editing their writers too, and they're paying me pretty damn well. Now, however, all of this is super cool, and this is great for my career. None of this would be possible. And I say this whether I'm Ian or whether I'm on Dexter, no matter where I am, without Jay Ellis giving me an opportunity. And one of the reasons that they reached out to me, they also wanted me to be able to collaborate with the Knick Of Time Show on the Fanside channel. So it is my mission to have everyone affiliated with KOT, but especially Jay Ellis, to be able to join me on shared pods and be able to cross-pollinate that audience with this audience. I'm not doing post games, so there's no conflict of interest there. I would still be here after every show, whether you like me or not. Apologies if you hate me. And I know I got my haters, but it's going to be a very fun endeavor for me to do more of like the solo stuff that I was doing, like, 45 minutes on a Sochan signing or explaining different basketball breakdown and language, that type of stuff, but also giving opportunities for our KOT people to build up their resume and their shows. And now everyone can say they've been on Fansided and be able to talk ball with me. I love these people, but definitely none of this, again, is possible. No one has done more for my career than Jay Ellis. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for allowing me to have this platform that, even as wild and angry and ridiculous that can be sometimes, and a hot mess, someone like you saw something in me and wanted to give me a shot. So I appreciate you. I dedicate this opportunity to you, and I wouldn't have it without you. So much love, brother.
Man, well deservedly.
Appreciate
Definitely.
And you know what's funny? It's like when you first started KOT, there was like a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. And there's still stuff that I haven't done. Right? And you go down the list of like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And this has been years in the making. You look up and you start to see like, oh wait, I wanted that and now it's here. I wrote this down, now it's happening. One of the things that I wrote down years ago is I wanted KOT to be on Fanside. You don't know that. So for that to happen and for Lee to get the opportunity and for us to be able to share in that with you is a big deal, man. It's extremely, I'm just, it's, I love it, man. I love that. I love that something was able to be built and it was able to like give people opportunity to do other stuff. It's like one of the best decisions I've made so far. Like every time somebody was like, "Man, you should have quit KOT a long time ago," I'd be like, "I don't know."
Hell,
Nah.
It's like so. It's awesome, man. It's funny when new people come on the show. Sometimes it takes a minute, and people come on the channel and they start throw tomatoes and and they have to get used to people. But like Lee, I always felt Lee was super duper talented. I always thought he was super. That's why he was here. And people was like, "Oh, I'm like, let him cook. All right, let him cook."
Facts.
I definitely had my haters for sure. Still do.
So it's like it's also vindication to be like, yes, he is good. I don't, even though you don't agree and I don't care if you don't agree. Even if we don't agree, it's still a good show. I'm gonna keep him. And it's paid off, and I feel like it's gonna keep paying off for a few different people here for sure. As long as he's going, I feel it's gonna keep paying off.
No one will ever know just how much Ellis has put his neck out for me. No one will ever know how much he has had my back in past scenarios, and no one will ever know how many times he's checked me and put me in my place when I really feel like as a human being, especially as a man, I needed to. He makes me a better person. So yeah, I appreciate the love in the chat about being loyal. Absolutely. Like I can be a pain in the ass, but one thing, I'm a loyal pain in the ass too. So this opportunity, I want to do it. It's not a full-time job, but writing is going to disappear one day. And I think that day is coming very soon with AI, with Substack, with bots. It's going to be to where I'm not going to have this opportunities to write essays on politics and sports for very much longer. And that's what I am, a writer. So this kind of gives me an opportunity to upskill, learn something new, and have that be my outlet for expressing myself. And I don't enjoy talking as much as I enjoy writing, but this is a great segue, I think, for me to transition and kind of evolve as a creative. And again, they wouldn't even know who I am, if it wasn't for Jay Ellis. So many of my writing opportunities happened because of KOT too. People know who I am. Some people like me, respect me. But this KOT family means so much to me, especially Jay Ellis, and right behind him, my main man, Ryan G, who's taught me so much on how to be a co-host. So I just appreciate you two guys. I'm glad I can share this moment with you two, especially.
Absolutely. Hi, yo. That's the old pick right there. Right?
Be the ODB of KOT for sure. For sure. Without a doubt.
Oh, man.
My favorite Wu-Tang member, for sure.
That's a fact. Hi, yo. It's a good place to end it. Only thing I'll say is, listen, man, we'll be back with Houston. Hopefully, we'll be back with some revenge. We get a win in the win column. And yeah, man, we'll be back. Hopefully, we talking a Knicks win on Saturday. If you like that show, hit that like and subscribe. We're here after every game talking Knicks basketball. And shout out to Lee, too, who's been able to do like little shows in the afternoon, especially during this trade season. He's been a freaking lifesaver. Because, dog, I have a job, and I be wanting to do these trade shows when it happened at 3 in the afternoon, but thank God somebody is actually home to do it. All right?
100% facts.
Because a lot of y'all here right now because y'all saw Lee on the trade show at 3 in the afternoon when I was on the slave ship, all right? All right, yo, that is the show. Thank you guys for watching. Lee, let them know they can find you, sir.
Follow me on Twitter at _Lee Escobedo, LeeEscobedo. Stay woke.
All right, stay woke. All right, and not the fake woke. Never mind. Ryan G, let them know they can find you, sir.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna pass on stating my Twitter and my Instagram because I'm so proud of my boy Lee. So make sure you follow him on Twitter, any social media account you can find him. Follow him. He's doing big things. Support him.
Appreciate you, bro. Much love, man.
All right. You heard the man. Follow him. Hold on.
My guy.
Follow him, man. My bad. Hold on a second. Where's the thing? Where is the little...
Are you looking for the audio that I uploaded? Oh, hell no. He's special, man.
Oh, no. Now I'm looking for the little Twitter handle thing over there. All right, yo, you already know. Find us at the KOT Show on Twitter, Knick Of Time Show on Instagram, and Knick Of Time Show on Facebook as well. All right. That is the show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
Mercer here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We out of here.
Peace.
Congrats to my guy Lee.
New York, big city of dreams. New York,